was dear friends of, well, people that became friends of mine, Jan and Jeff. I didn't know them that well, and they knew of Peter by seeing him perform in Petaluma, and they loved him, and they thought he was fabulous. And they kept saying, you have to meet Peter Welker.
Well, I kept saying the same thing about you. They go, you got to meet this friend of ours. She's a phenomenal singer and a nice person. Okay. And that went on for a while, months actually. They'd come to gigs and you got to meet this gal. And what's her name again? Deborah Winters. They brought her by to a gig and then we met and I said, well, you feel like singing a song? And she went, she's very respectful, didn't say, hey, can I sit in with you guys? It was like, you know, and I asked her if you'd like to sing a song. She goes, yeah.
I was like, do I know any songs?
Yeah, do I know any? And so then I figured, well, okay, I've been hearing about this gal for a while, so what do you want to sing? She was night and day, I'll never forget. And they sing that song in Alaska 6 months at a time, night and day. Yeah, bad joke. I don't know, but she was very confident, came up and bubbly, and you could tell, man, here we go, this looks good, okay, what's going to happen? And she started singing, it was like, holy Toledo. So at the end of the song, you know, the crowd went bananas, and I'm standing there going, that was spectacular. So that kind of was the start of it. Then kind of some time went by, and then I don't know how we got together again. It might have been the next summer.
It was the next summer.
It was the next summer. And then at that point, you know, on a break, I said, you know, we should talk about maybe doing 3 or 4 songs. Let me produce it. And I figured, let's start slow, maybe 3 songs, Deborah. And okay, well, let me think about it. So more time went by, and then somewhere in there, I think Carol said, why don't we invite her up to the house, my beautiful wife, and
yeah, that was fun.
And have dinner, and let's just see, because part of producing is, you know, is being able to really work with the person, not only musically, but personally. And, I mean, it's a heavy commitment on both parts. I could see, you know, when she came for dinner that night, that, you know, it was a big deal for her to kind of let go and maybe try a whole kind of different thing.
You said the magic word, letting go. It's good for me to let go.
And Carol and I both sensed that, and we said, boy, you know, it's more than just saying, yeah, let's go, let's get going on this project. You know, it was like there was a lot to think about. And, you know, once we got going on this project, it just really flowed.
We both worked on it, and it's a challenge because for me, there's all these different things I want to do.
Right.
And so again, that letting go process was really positive because Peter certainly had a vision, and because in the past, the recordings that I'd done, I was in charge of everything, and I was the one who had written the songs or had chosen any of the cover material that we were doing, and I was somewhat in charge, and I loved that he had heard me sing. He's in this genre with this jazz orchestra and this incredible sound, and I said, you know, well, I want to know what you think I should sing. What do you hear me singing? So for me, that was a real high point. And then as we started talking tunes, there were several that we knew and we gelled with, and then he introduced me to many that I didn't. So a lot of those songs on the record I'd never heard of before, including the title track.
Such a great job on them. Come Sunday, Lovers After All, The End of a Love Affair. There might have been one or two others.
Haunted Heart.
Yeah, Haunted Heart. And that was one I kept working on with her, and I kept saying, you got to check this tune out. I don't have any words to it, but I got Bill Evans doing it in 1960 with his trio. And I've got Quartet West with Ernie Watts and Alan Broadbent doing it. And she was always open. The thing I love is she was always open to, you know, hearing any suggestions that I had. But that was a toughie, you know. I kept playing for her and go, what do you think? And, well, I'll think about it, you know. And then nothing ever happened with that song. Finally, somewhere in there, I think she went online and heard, I forgot which singer singing it with an orchestra with strings. And in New York City, maybe at the Rainbow.
Oh, was it the Haunted Heart? Yeah.
And she called me up and she goes, that's it, I've heard it, and yeah, we're going to do it. That's a gorgeous tune. I heard the word. Came up with the idea of doing it like a bossa nova kind of, or with a Latin feel to it.
With a Latin feel.
She had some great ideas on this project that was really easy working with her, because sometimes I'd be stuck with an idea of how to end a tune or how to start it or whatever, and she'd go, well, here's what I hear, and she'd come up to the house and she'd sing something. I'd go, oh, that's a cool idea. So she had a lot of input on, obviously, a lot of input on this project.
And you put the icing on the cake, though, on Get Out of Town, where at the ending there's this really cool thing, and he'd call me up and say, I got this killer ending, man, you got to hear this. And I'd be on the phone, he'd be playing it over the phone.
Up next to the piano.
It was great.
In the night, though we're apart, there's a ghost of you within my haunted